What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to introduce a new series that I'm starting on here. It is called Ask the Amateur. This series actually started on Instagram, but I have decided it's difficult for me to get all of my thoughts into a 60 or 90-second reel. So I'm actually going to be doing this series here on YouTube. These are going to be shorter episodes, and then I will put the short form content on Instagram. So, welcome to this series. And if you do not know me, I am KP. I am an aspiring IFBB Bikini Pro. I have been working towards earning my pro card for 6 years, but really seriously, like the last 3. I got into bodybuilding 6 years ago. So it's been quite the journey. And if you're meeting me for the first time, welcome to my channel. And if you've been here a while, then you probably know a little bit about my journey. But in this series in particular, I am going to be answering the questions that I get asked often. And I'm answering them as the athlete that I am today, which is not the athlete I have always been. So today I'm actually going to be answering 2 questions because question number 1 was answered on Instagram, but I want to start this series with this question. And the question is, why do I take this so seriously? And this is a very broad term because it's why do I take my training so seriously? Why do I take my nutrition so seriously? My off season, improvement season, prep, my weekends. Why do I take things so seriously? I take all of this so seriously because it has been the anchor for some of the most pivotal years of my life. 3 years into marriage, 3 years into being a new business owner, and 3 years into the most serious part of this pursuit of becoming a professional. And during these 3 years, I have been faced with so much uncertainty, so much adversity, just so much. What I have found is the more serious I take my nutrition, my training, just how you do one thing is how you do everything. And the more serious I take every aspect of my life, the further ahead I get. And I think the easiest way to answer this is just by showing you the side by sides of my progress in 1 year time. Because this last year was the most serious I've taken everything, my off season in particular, and just every single day of the week I dedicated to getting better and to doing better. And the results speak for themselves. Because usually when I get asked these questions, it's in the context of me declining an invitation, declining something to eat, to drink, when I get asked what I did over the weekend. And honestly, the people closest to me have stopped asking because they know by now. But the people who do ask and the people who just don't really fully understand, like, this is why. Life is always going to be asking something of you. And I truly believe that the best time to take yourself seriously is during imperfect conditions, is when you're faced with adversity. Because if you can find something to anchor into, it's going to get you through that difficult time and you're going to be better because of it. And so for me, I stopped looking for a reason to quit and I started looking for a reason to keep going because this is my dream and this is my goal to become a professional. Yes, of course, but it's really just to become the best version of myself and see what I'm capable of. Because when the goal is less about the outcome and more about who you're becoming along the way, distractions or things that get in the way of that are a lot less attractive, and quitting doesn't even become an option. This pursuit for me is serious because I take myself seriously and I have big dreams. It's fueled by a lot of delusion, but I feel like I'm at the point in the journey where it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. But really, I just want to share my insights and mindsets behind the questions that I get asked because I answer the questions I get asked now a lot differently than I would have even a year ago, but certainly since the beginning of the journey. And I think that's just a testament to how far I've come. And so I'm not a professional. I haven't earned my title. And a title is just a title. But I'm committing to answering these questions until I earn that title. So this could be a very long series. At the least, because I am about 11 and a half weeks out now, and that's just my first show. So my national show is closer to 15 weeks out. So this will either be about a 15-week long series or it could be very long. We will just have to see. But regardless, I'm excited to share more insights with you guys and share more of the journey with you guys through this series. So question number 2 for Ask the Amateur is, or actually came from TikTok from Dose of Nat, and it is, what do you do for bloating before a show? So I'm going to answer this, and then I'm really going to answer this. So what you do during peak week or a little before, you're going to start pulling out sauces, stevia, carbonation, probably protein powders, and then the few days leading up, you'll probably pull out vegetables as well. So this is going to help with any sort of bloating going into show. But my answer is going to be a little bit more than that, because my real answer is that you should not be waiting until you're about to step on stage to care about your digestive health. This is something you should be prioritizing long before. For me personally, I've really been prioritizing my digestive health since this prep started, and honestly before that in my improvement season. I really started being more mindful as we were working my food up, and because that's really when I started noticing the bloating. So every couple weeks in my improvement season, I was calling it a gut reset, but essentially I was eliminating the things I would eliminate during peak week or going into a show, which was spices, sauces, stevia, anything artificial, whey protein, and carbonation. And when I would do this, I would get instant relief. So during my improvement season, again, I did this every couple weeks. And then when prep started, I just didn't even want to mess around with that added layer. So that's really something I wanted to continue throughout this prep. And in addition to helping with bloating, it's also helped with cravings. I know this isn't realistic for a lot of people, but this just kind of goes back to that taking it seriously bit, because there's a cost to everything, you guys. For me, feeling good in my body and for me having a more seamless prep, not having to deal with bloating and that added frustration, like the price I'm willing to pay is not adding all of these things to my food to cause that added layer of frustration and discomfort. So there's a few things I've been more mindful of. There's a few things that I have eliminated, and there's a few things that I have added in that have helped quite a bit this prep. For me personally, stress is a pretty big contributor to bloating. So that's something I've really tried to minimize. And I started with reducing my caffeine intake. So I do one mushroom coffee a day, I do a decaf coffee, I do a non-stim pre, and I do not do any energy drinks. I will have a sip of Ryan's here and there, but I have not consumed even half of an energy drink this prep because I'm so focused on protecting my sleep. If I do have caffeine, it is before noon. Number 2, I am not waiting until the last couple weeks to be more mindful of my stevia intake. I've always added stevia packets on top of my meals to make my food taste better, and that is something that I have not done this entire prep, and it has helped a tremendous amount with my bloating. I also don't use any sauces, I don't use any spices, and that's just my preference. It allows your body to respond a lot better to the plan when you don't have that added layer of frustration. So that has been really huge for me this prep so far. Something I'm super consistent with is my gut drink, which I have every single morning, and that helps with bloating, with regularity, with really all the things. It's like a really good start and foundation to the day. Something I did add in was I finally found a whey protein powder that digests well, causes no bloating. So that has been a really awesome addition this prep as well. I'm going to say the last thing that makes a huge difference is following a meal plan. I know some competitors do if it fits in your macros, and that is just adding in a lot of different variables. When you're switching up your foods and just like having constant variety, that's giving your body a lot of information, and it's making the process much harder than it needs to be on you. So really getting consistent with your meals, the foods you're eating, the times you're eating, your routines, your stress management. That foundation should be so strong that you really aren't experiencing bloating on a regular basis. But there are a few other things that you can lean on, which would be supplementation. And so there's things like digestive enzymes, there's things like probiotics. These things can really help, but you want to be careful and make sure that you're taking the right one for you, because gut health is not really a one size fits all. Everyone's body is so different, and there are so many different probiotics and strains and certain things to target. And so it's important that you understand what you're taking and why, and also that you're finding a digestive enzyme that is compatible with the probiotic that you're taking. And so that's something that I recently went through, and consulting with someone that actually knows what they're talking about has been a tremendous help for me in my digestive health. It's brought a lot of clarity. It's allowed my body to respond a lot better to this process and just function better on a daily basis. So, in short, dealing with bloating going into show, you're going to control as many variables as you can. However, I do not recommend waiting until you're about to step on stage to start caring about your digestive health. I would get a very strong foundation built as early as possible so that you can have a better prep, your body is more responsive, and so really that you can feel your best and bring your best when it does come to show day. So that is my long-winded 2 cents and insight from this first episode of Ask the Amateur. Again, I'm going to be answering your questions on a weekly basis in this series until I earn my title. So if you're not already, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to follow along with the journey through this series, through my Keeping Up with KP and my prep updates and all of the things. Make sure to like this episode. Make sure to comment what you guys want me to answer next. And I will see you in the next one.